When you pull away, something powerful happens inside a man, something he never admits, something he hides even from himself, and something he wishes he could control. But the truth is, he can't. When you stop giving him the emotional attention he's used to, his ego starts to crumble, piece by piece. At first, he may pretend he's unbothered. He may act like he didn't notice. He may even act colder, trying to convince himself that he's still in control. But deep inside, he feels that shift, that loss of power, that internal panic that whispers, "Why is she not here the way she used to be?" And that tiny whisper becomes the beginning of the secret shift every man experiences when a woman pulls away. You see, men aren't afraid of losing the relationship first. They are afraid of losing the version of themselves they felt when you were giving them emotional access. When you pull your energy back, it exposes his dependence on that access. It forces him to confront how much your presence was feeding his ego, validating his masculinity, soothing his insecurities, and making him feel wanted without him even noticing it. And the moment you stop doing that, he feels it like a punch he didn't see coming. It shakes him, it destabilizes him, it rewires his behavior in ways he never expected. He starts checking his phone more, wondering why you're suddenly quieter. He replays old messages, trying to decode where the shift started. He stalks your social media anonymously, searching for signs of whether you're losing interest or simply giving him space. He becomes hyper-aware of every small change. The slower replies, the shorter messages, the emotional distance. That distance becomes a mirror, showing him how comfortable he became with your emotional investment. And that mirror feels threatening to his ego, because now he has to question whether he took your energy for granted. When you pull away, you activate his mind in ways closeness never could. Closeness makes him feel safe, relaxed, almost entitled. But distance triggers his survival instincts. It makes him think. It makes him chase. It makes him remember what he forgot, that your presence was a privilege, not a guarantee. And now he feels like he's losing it. The secret shift in men happens when a woman stops giving her energy automatically. He begins to doubt himself. He begins to question whether you still admire him, desire him, or see him the same way. His ego hates uncertainty because uncertainty equals vulnerability, and men fear vulnerability more than heartbreak. He tries to compensate in subtle ways, sometimes even without realizing. He may text you randomly just to test your response time. He may act aloof to see if you run after him like before. Or he may suddenly become nicer, more attentive, more present. Trying to pull you back into the emotional pattern, he prefers the one where you give more and he gives less. But since you've pulled away, that pattern is broken, and he feels it deeply. Your emotional detachment forces him to confront his own emotional laziness. It reveals the truth he was avoiding, that he needs your energy more than he thought, and that he depended on you to regulate the emotional connection. When you take that power back, you become the mystery his mind can't let go of. He wonders what changed. He wonders who you're giving attention to instead. He wonders whether he still holds the same value in your life. And that wondering creates a mental loop that keeps him thinking about you constantly. What truly makes his ego crumble is the fear that someone else may experience the version of you he took for granted. Your softness, your patience, your warmth, your emotional availability. He assumed it would always be there. But pulling away shows him that it isn't guaranteed. That shift in power forces him to reevaluate everything. Suddenly, he no longer feels like the one in control. Suddenly, he feels emotions he doesn't like: jealousy, insecurity, anxiety, confusion, and desire. Those emotions create attachment, and that attachment pulls him toward you. If he genuinely cares, your distance becomes a wake-up call. It makes him reflect on his actions. It makes him realize how little effort he was giving. It makes him fear losing something real, something rare, something he didn't protect enough. But if he was only using your attention to feed his ego and never intended to invest emotionally, your pulling away exposes his shallow intentions. He might disappear, not because he doesn't care, but because his ego can't handle not being prioritized. Either way, your pulling away gives you clarity and shifts the dynamic in your favor. The reason this strategy, whether intentional or natural, is so powerful is because men respond more to loss of energy than to abundance of it. When you give too much, he relaxes. When you pull back, he awakens. When you stop chasing, he starts noticing. When you stop overgiving, he starts reconnecting with his own desire. And that desire is what rewires his behavior more than anything you could ever say out loud. Men don't fall in love through words. They fall in love through emotional contrast. The contrast between your presence and your distance creates the tension that keeps him emotionally invested. When you pull away, he begins to crave the emotional version of you he once had access to. That craving rebuilds attraction. It rebuilds interest. It rebuilds pursuit. And yes, it rebuilds effort. He starts imagining you with someone else. He starts regretting not treating you better. He starts wondering how to win you back. His ego collapses because it realizes it was never as in control as it pretended to be. And that collapse leads to transformation. Either he steps up or he steps out. But the collapse always happens. The emotional shift always occurs. The moment he feels you pulling away, he becomes more alert, more aware, more intentional. He thinks about the conversations he ignored, the times you gave him hints, the moments you were trying to connect deeper, but he was distracted. Distance makes everything obvious. It exposes who cared more and who invested less. And no man likes facing that truth. Your power lies in your emotional discipline. When you pull your energy back, not out of manipulation, but out of self-respect, the shift is even stronger. He feels that your detachment isn't a game. It's a boundary. It's a decision. It's a turning point. It forces him to choose whether he will match your energy or lose access to you entirely. The man who truly values you will feel this shift intensely. He will adjust. He will rise. He will communicate. He will correct his behavior. Because losing you becomes a reality he is no longer willing to risk. But the man who only valued your attention, not you, will fade, because your distance removes the ego supply he depended on. Either way, you win because pulling away reveals who is real and who is not. Your emotional presence is powerful, but your emotional absence can be transformational. It forces clarity, honesty, accountability, and effort. When he realizes he no longer has automatic access to your heart, he finally sees your worth with sharpness he ignored before. Men don't understand value through words. They understand it through loss. And when you pull away, he finally understands the value of you, your energy, your femininity, and your emotional investment. The secret shift in men isn't just emotional, it's psychological. He begins to associate your distance with the fear of losing something irreplaceable. That fear collapses the ego, dissolves the pride, and triggers genuine desire. You become the woman he thinks about at night, the woman he compares others to, the woman he can't get out of his mind, and all because you chose yourself. If you want him to step up, sometimes silence speaks louder than effort. Sometimes distance teaches what closeness couldn't. Sometimes pulling away reveals everything he hid behind confidence. This is why the feminine power of emotional detachment is so magnetic. It isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It isn't manipulation, it's self-value. And once you operate from that place, every man in your life will feel the shift. For more powerful and eye-opening videos like this, make sure you visit the channel tomorrow for the next upload. And don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. Your support means everything. And it helps bring more content that empowers your feminine energy and strengthens your emotional intelligence.